And to your point specifically, that's absolutely correct. Knowledge that is acquired but unutilized is the equivalent of ignorance.
Mm.
Everybody talks about how many books they've read. I don't care how many books you've read this year, last year. I care about how much stuff you're putting into play. That's what matters. I would rather you read 2 books and put 100% of it into play than have 100 books and put 2% of it into play. And that's the reality. Bruce Lee says, I do not fear the man who knows 10,000 techniques and has done it once. I fear the man that has done one technique 10,000. So I've done martial arts my entire life since I was 11. Speaking of Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee's protege is named Guru Dan Inosanto. I had the honor of being an instructor under him, so I have direct lineage to Bruce Lee from that side of the tree. So that knowledge from traditional martial arts at a young age, I tried to read meditations when I was younger by Marcus Aurelius, and it just went over my head like it was the thoueth, because it was, for those of you that don't know, Meditations was never supposed to be published as a book. It's literally just meditations or memories or reflections that Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, is reminding himself of when he's on campaign in the Germanic Wars. Like he's on the front lines and he's like reminding himself, it's going to be cold and I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get out from under the warm covers. But yet, why would I do that? Because this is my purpose. Reminding himself that if it is endurable, to endure it, to stop complaining, to understand that you cannot control the things outside of you, but you can control the way that you react to them. And within that lies your power. Again, all these truths that are fundamental to so many of us. So I had all of that philosophical notions and those ideals. But again, I learned it when I was younger and it made sense and I applied it. But then as life gets more complex, as we get a job, as we get married, it's easy for us to just sort of, here it is, guys, listen. Your life doesn't change overnight. It changes one compromised decision after another, slowly, small bites, small shades of gray. You compromise on the workout. I'm going to short it by 5 minutes. You compromise on your nutrition. It wouldn't harm me this much time to have, an extra one of these or less of this. It compromises it when you're in an interaction. I can't pay attention to this person, so I'm just going to sit there. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You had this completely unconnected, this lack of presence. These are the areas that if we let that slip one time, Pressfield says in The War of Art, if you compromise that one time and you cave as an amateur against resistance, twice as likely to cave tomorrow. So here's the reality. You have to set a standard, and then you have to maintain that standard every single day. We are only as good as our last workout, conversation, endeavor, thought,